Hello again, those concerned and interested in my case against Karachi American School. I am continuing from my last video to set my school record straight in Karachi American School. Although it's too late now, very, very late, Miss Desa has passed away a long time, many years ago, in 2004, I think. I'm not sure, or 2003. I can't recall exactly which year. And the damage they did to me also, and my house, my mother, my family members, collateral damage as they call it. And Dr. Todd, the Karachi American School psychologist at that time, made sure that she put me through therapy, and the years I went through therapy against my will and my belief, my deep down belief that my relationship problem with Ms. Desa could not be solved by me going in and being in therapy. So yes, I know that justice will not be done. Neither can the United States of America ever give me justice, for they failed to give my love justice from the beginning. This superficial, frolic, frivolous country with its people fooling around with no wisdom. Either they have learned spiritual things now from India and the Red Indians of America, the original people of America. However, by themselves, they are quite hollow and superficial. All those years I was put in therapy by Dr. Todd, their American psychologist. I object to this completely and thoroughly. I have this case against Dr. Todd, who told me that I'll be laughing and to go on with my life. Later, I'll be looking at this traumatic experience of my life, the most traumatic experience I've had in my life since I was 14 years old. But I haven't looked back and laughing at it. And thank God, God showed me later on, after many years, around 1990 something, another of their psychotherapists who has written many books now, Dr. Brian Weiss, had to change his profession from being a psychotherapist to a spiritual therapist. He had to risk his reputation in America and his career. So justice will not be done here, but I can talk about it, and I can hope that the Quran is true in saying that there is a hell. The hell that the Karachi American School put me through, and Dr. Todd being one of them in this conspiracy and connivance against me and Miss Desa. So hell was inside of me while I was living and thinking, what am I guilty of? Yes, feeling guilty that I'm going back to Miss Desa and I'm hurting the very person I adore and love, and disturbing her, being disturbed like hell. So I'm hoping that those people who put others in hell one day will themselves be put in the hell of themselves that they put other people through. And so Quran is justified when it says that there is a hell, and this hell could be for a long period or forever. Be sure that you are warned. And we are warned, and yet we go on making hell for other people, putting people in hellfire now by throwing bombs and burning them, their children, our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, our fathers, our family members, our houses, our hospitals, our patients. So how can anyone say that if God has said there is hell, that there is no hell? And hell doesn't make sense when I know I felt hell here on earth, this life. Someone else put me through hell due to their connivance and their treachery. How can someone say that God has written wrong? Who are you to say that? Do you have the wisdom of God? Do you know about the future, what tomorrow will bring? Do you know where you came from? You are afraid of your death. America, I know. Americans, they feel so scared about death while we've lived in the shadow of death and martyrdom. We are living, seeing America put our children, our Muslims, our family members, our societies, our nations in hell. We are witnessing all this. And so I personally believe that the God who said there is hellfire and there is an eternal damnation and hell was not wrong, isn't wrong to say this. Another thing is that I gathered later, however, I was so confused. Head-splitting, mind-splitting nights I've had. Not to mention the heart aches and restlessness and agony. Not to mention the hell I went through without Miss Tissa those years. The American school has told me that this is unhealthy, Miss Tissa, and you need to be separated. And then in the 6th year, in our 6th year of separation, when I went to her and somehow she agreed that I could call her once a week and speak to her, or once a month, perhaps once a week. And then something happened, and on the phone conversation, she's told me, how can you think that I will leave you just like that? And after the phone conversation, I'm thinking, what has this Miss Tissa said? Leave me just like that? So she wouldn't leave me just like that? And what happened 6 years back? She left me because I was a nuisance. And now she's telling me that what made me think that I would leave her just like that? Sorry, that she would leave me just like that? Have I not been a nuisance even more so in these 6 years of separation, going to her house, begging her to see me and reconcile? This is now 1989, after January 7th, when I left her at her stairways, and we decided that I would call her every week, and she will speak to me. So 6 years back, Dr. Todd, Mr. Horton, Dr. Webster, the Karachi American School had connivingly exploited this relationship of Miss Desai and mine. Oh, and so when she's told me this, of course, my mind went to a negative place against Miss Desai. Maybe because I'm in St. Michael's School now, and there are all these Christians who know her. And so what a shrewd woman Miss Desai is. Now she wants to show that she has some kind of a heart. This heartless, shrewd lady now wants to show that she has some heart in her. And so she's telling me this. She's told me, what made you think that I would leave you just like that? So this is how my mind used to flip against Miss Desai. And then in my diary, the next page was, that poor woman. I made her suffer and go through hell, troubled her so much. No, 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 Zahra. It is you. You are the little devil. Or maybe, where is God? Because my intentions were not to make anyone go through anything terrible, harmful, or bad, or troublesome. I knew and I believed that my heart was full of pure love for Miss Desai. तो मैडम नूरजान का ये गाना याद आया, बख्श देना मोहब्बत की गुस्ताखियाँ. What even Bryan Adams has sung later on, please forgive me, I know not what I do. And back to my religion. God says that He is just. And we Shias have this another pillar. I think it's a pillar, Usul-e-Din and Fusu-e-Din. It's a pillar of Islam we have, that God is just. I think there's Tawheed, there is the oneness of God we have to believe in, then there is the prophethood, then there is the spiritual leadership after prophethood, which is imamat, and there is also in our Shia Islam, Adl, God is just. And so I've been waiting for that just God, the court of God, and His justice to take place. And it has to take place because, like Einstein said, the theory of Einstein, which is proven fact, every action has a reaction. So I'm calling out to my God, which I have been calling out to, at times angry, upset with Him. But definitely, justice has to be done. There is no other way. You can go into spirituality if you like. There is a way. Spirituality also, you will find there are energies and they have their methods and they have their system. Nothing is free here, totally free. Not even spirituality. It has a law, it follows. Even our Satan, Iblis, was spiritual, of a great fortune teller. He knew and he told God that he will be leading human beings astray. And he knew how many, but only God's chosen ones will not be led astray. Shaitan knew Satan or devil, whatever you may call him. He worshipped God for many thousands of years, and his worship was of pride and self-centered worship. So these energies, these spiritual energies can be misused, and when they're misused to harm others and for self-glorification, it's called satanic, and it becomes bad, satanic, the devil's spirituality. So, my dear ones, hear it from me, who has experienced the American connivance and how they worked even later on. They didn't rest at separating me from Ms. Disa, but how they worked over the years and put me in therapy against my will. And in that helpless and desperate state, I would remain in therapy for so many years. And it wasn't even getting better, it was getting worse and worse. Until one day finally God reached out, a savior, and with care, and cared for me, and showed me that there is a God who cares, and he reached out to me. So hear from me that these Americans, they only are superficial, they have their self-interest, and they can do anything. They are not the sovereign God that they want us to think. And the way they work, maybe in front of you, they want to show they are humans just like us, making mistakes, having weaknesses, but then they have their glorifications. We are the world. They think they own the world, and they are toying with the world, and they want you to believe that it's not them, but it is them. So what the Quran says, whither are you turning to? I'm calling you to goodness. Please heed me. Don't listen to these Western, foolish, frolic, frivolous people, cunning, cruel, conniving, treacherous. That in the end, when you're facing God, you say, oh my God, who was I following? Who did I befriend? These people. And it will be too late for you. I'm calling you to a God who truly cares, like he cared for me and had mercy on my teacher, Ms. Disa. These Americans had done so much harm to my being, to my love. Indirectly also getting to my family, my mother, my father, and behind our backs, my back, they were going on. They didn't want me to rest for a second. It's you may be impressed by them. It's only for the time being. It's not something that one should truly, sincerely admire. They are actually taking us to hell on this planet. They have brought hell on earth. If you are still impressed by their freedom of choice, liberty, and love, and if you still doubt what I'm telling you, how they damaged me, character assassination, character defamation, bringing the rumors to my second school after I left Karachi American School, that's Center for Advanced Studies, bringing their spy there as my best friend. Of course, a Pakistani and a Muslim. Yes, they brought a psychologist. You would think how great, how caring of them. A psychologist has come to help me out in 1982. She was so nice with me just before apparently meeting Miss Desa and me knowing about it, talking deeply with Miss Desa. And then she became so cold. She wouldn't listen to me. Miss Desa wants you separated from her. Miss Desa doesn't want to see you. This is an unhealthy relationship. Over the phone conversation also, so stubbornly telling me with no feelings for me, for my love, for my attachment with Miss Desa since I was 9 or 10 years old. Yes, I told her that if you got separated from your son, baby son, how would you feel if someone separated you from your son? But what could I do? She was not understanding my feelings. Like Miss Desa was nothing to me. She was certainly not my mother. She was my great mother. And then my mother has seen me going into her bathroom and throwing up and nothing coming out of my mouth. But no one could see my intestines pulling up, jerks in my intestine while I was throwing up. So much pain, leave alone the heart pain. My mother has seen me so disturbed at that time when I was 15 years old or 15 years old. And my neighbor, a close neighbor of mine, seeing me after coming from Karachi American School, they wouldn't talk to me. So where's the freedom of choice? They will tell you that they had a guidance counselor. Oh, Dr. Webster. He was helping me in 8th grade. He was helping me. He came 8th grade. So he was really helping me, yes. I used to come across his wife in school and feel sorry for her. We both knew a friend of mine in Karachi American School, and we gathered that this man was a pervert. But we didn't tell the authorities. We were not the ones to complain to the authorities. What we call in Urdu is jughli khor. I wasn't a jughli khor. I would think twice before putting his work in jeopardy, his career in jeopardy, his family in jeopardy, his wife there. Such a helpful guidance counselor, you may say, from the United States of America. Such caring people. So in 1982 or 1983, they have a psychologist. They have the guidance counselor now for me. What a beautiful picture it's portraying to the world to see and believe. So how can I make you believe in my truth, in my sincerity, in my caring, sharing ways that are sincere and for your welfare? Because I wouldn't want anyone to go through what I went through, not even near it, while their picture shows a very professional way of caring and support for me in Karachi American School. So how will I be able to prove their connivance their treachery. We'll continue later. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Amen.